Well, hey and welcome everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Today is Wednesday, October 9th, 2019, and this is your Team Prosperity training. I've got a few things that I wanted to cover today, and then Mike's got a great presentation for you as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into it. And go ahead and pull up my presentation. And here we go. So I'm so excited to be here with everybody. I hope everybody's having a wonderful and productive day, week, month. It's an exciting time with a new quarter starting, so there's a few things that I wanted to cover. October is actually financial planning month. We don't hear about it that much, but I was kind of excited to hear about it. So if you can work it into your advertising or into your conversations, perfect. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is I put together just a few clips from some of the WFG material that's been coming out. I love the slide right here, celebrating diversity. There's nothing more important than everybody having an equal chance. You know, this platform doesn't see race, color, gender, sexual preference. They don't care, right? If you're purple with green spots, as long as you're making it happen, you're helping families, you're building your business, everybody, you know, has the same opportunity, and that's what makes it very special. So here's a little snapshot of some diversity happening. And every time, every month, there's new ring and watch earners and new advancements, and I'm always looking real close to see, you know, pretty soon this is going to be all our team, so I just can't wait for that. Also, I thought this was super cool and actually used it the other day. This is a policy locator to find lost policies, and this is like a government thing, so if you need this, let me know. I can send you the direct link, but if you click on the life insurance policy locator, you can actually put in the information about the deceased and look through the database to see if there's any life insurance policies that haven't been claimed. It looks like there's more than 650 million claims were paid as of July 31st, 2019. So this is pretty cool. Again, if you need it, I can forward it to you if you don't have it. And then this is the last month for the race to 25K. There's always a bunch of different cool like events and, you know, prizes and things going on. Now this is something that has to do with personal production. So I know that we actually had somebody in the company hit this, which was pretty exciting. So kind of keep an eye out for the information for that. Now that's personal income. What I want to talk about today a little bit is about bonus income, because there's a lot of talk about getting to senior vice president, doing a sprint to senior vice president. And you want to know why, right? Yes, of course, you get a higher contract level, but a big part of it is being able to participate in the bonuses. So there's a quarterly bonus program. And by the way, it's at the beginning of October, meaning if any of you all become senior vice presidents during this quarter, you will be eligible to participate in this bonus program. Remember, again, this is quarterly. So per quarter, once you become senior vice president, if you and your team are writing 50,000 base shop annualized points 3 months in a row, you're going to get an $8,000 quarterly bonus. If you're doing double that, 100,000 base shop net points for 3 consecutive months in a row, you make a $16,000 quarterly bonus. So that's quarterly, meaning every 3 months. There's also monthly bonus pools. So 9 or 10% of everything that comes into WFG gets paid out in bonus pools, and those get paid out every single month. So they stack on top of the quarterlies. So when you all become senior vice president, you should always be striving to hit this bonus pool every single month. So your team, you want them to write 25,000 annual points and have 3 or more recruits, or 30,000 base shop points with a recruit requirement would be waived. You also have to maintain a 60% net point ratio over the rolling 3 months, meaning more than 60% of your business has to stay on the books. Should be really easy to keep 60%. Me and Mike always stay between like in the 85% persistency range. Industry-wide, it's about 70% is the average, just to let you know. So, you know, you want to strive to always write, you know, suitable business, things that stay on the books, but sometimes, you know, things happen and things happen. People lose their jobs and stuff. So that's what that net point ratio means. Here's a little snapshot of last month. We made our, you know, base shop bonus, you know, 1820, not a huge bonus, but hey, super helpful, you know, on a monthly basis if you can make a few extra $1,000, you know, on bonuses. And those actually come through as adjustments on your commission cycle. So, and you have heard me talk about EMD, how we're really striving to get to EMD by the end of the year. And that's because the second bonus pool opens up. Now, if the first bonus pool for SMBs and higher might be a few thousand a month, the super base pool, I heard, is in the $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month range. I don't know because I'm not there yet, but it's just a matter of time, just like it is for everybody on the call. Because, you know, when you look at these bonuses and you see all those people getting awards and stuff, it doesn't tell you if they've been in for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years. You don't know. Everybody's going to go at their own pace. And then the last and most important bonus, I don't even know like how much this third one is like, but this is like the third part of it. EMD's an up 100,000 base, 500,000 through 6 generations. So we'll know more about that once we get closer to it. But working is how you're going to get there. And I think in the beginning, you know, everybody kind of struggles. We all do. I did. You know, it took me 4 months to bring in my first person. And I usually don't share that with people because it's not going to take you all 4 months to bring in a person. We just didn't have any support. But a lot of it is planting seeds and building that pipeline of people that drip back in on their own. I had a guy reach out to me. He's been following me for 4 years. And he finally reached out to me. He saw one of my posts on LinkedIn, and he's like, now I'm ready. I've been linked in with you for 4 years. I've been watching you. It hasn't been the right timing for me. Now I'm at a full-time job. I'm making good money. I don't like my job. I need an exit strategy. So he's going to be coming in next week. So you just never know when you plan to seed, you know, what's going to come of it. I posted this yesterday. You're allowed to be a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. I think that's how a lot of us feel. You know, you have to be able to see the good that you're doing, but also realize that we're all a work in progress. And this is a cool one. You could be grinding for 3 years with no results, and then on the 4th year become the biggest thing on the planet. The power of never giving up is real. And I'll close with this. You know, the world is in our hands. So let's just go for it. Lean on your uplines. Lean on us. We're all here to help you. You know, that's how we make money. When you make money, we're super vested in your success. So anything you need, big or small, don't hesitate to let us know. And I'm going to go ahead and grab Mike, and I cannot wait to see his presentation. Thanks so much.
All right, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Today is actually Yom Kippur, so we're missing some of our partners today as they are, you know, observing their holy day. So we will, of course, get the recording out. No matter if people are at jobs, they have other things going on, they just can't make this. It's a weird time, like we always talk about, for a meeting. But the recordings are placed on the YouTube channel, Facebook group, and emailed out. So you always have access to that. Today we are in the exhibit hall for Virtual Financial, and there's vendors in here. There's a bunch of stuff in here. I want to make sure that you guys understand the virtual environment. So as you're going through here, there's things that you can click on: Virtual Advantage, the brochure, Build a Better Tomorrow. Anything you pick up in here can go in your briefcase. So understand you have an electronic or e-briefcase is what I call it. And as you're maneuvering through here, if you find stuff that you know think is pertinent to your business, want to revisit, you don't have to remember where it is. Just go ahead and place it in your briefcase, and it will be there. So get accustomed to what's in the 3D environment, kind of, you know, walk around in there, get lost, see what's there, and see what's going to be advantageous for your business on the partner or the client side. I love that last meme that Alana put up, that had Gordon Gekko on it, because that is the truth. And so many people quit right before, not this industry, not this business, but generally in life. They just quit before a real breakthrough happens for them. So you want to avoid that. I'm excited about the next 24, 36 months. I'm excited about the next 12 months in this business. We're ready for takeoff. November marks my 5th year in this business. I did 2 years on a very part-time basis, and the last 3 years or so on a full-time basis. I will tell you guys, this business and this company was a loose group of assets an idea, a vision, and that's it. Over the last 5 years, it's been put together, and we're ready to roll, guys. So you're in a good place at a good time. Just the activity from your side will make it happen. Remember, most people that you talk to are not going to be that partner persona, and a lot of the people on the client side, even if they fit that client persona, they're going to back away because for whatever reason, most people, thinking is difficult. So that's why most people judge. So when you're out there, don't let other people bring you down. Don't let other people affect your ability to go forward each and every day and march towards what you ultimately want, which is a portfolio of digital agencies, a cash flow asset that pays you a lot of passive income. So all these people that judged you along the way, you're going to have a lifestyle and freedom that they can only dream about. Remember, our model is based on innovation, but innovation is also a state of mind. So you want to start thinking like an innovator. And when you bring innovation to the marketplace, innovation creates new value. And when you unlock that value, you're able to show people a new way of doing business, a better way of doing business, and that ultimately has financial rewards for you, your partners, everybody involved. At a base level, we're just taking the physicality out of the whole process. We're not going to an office. We're not driving around and meeting people. We're not stuck in traffic. So at a base level, we can get more done in the day than any traditional model because when they're stuck in that commute, when they're going to that house that may or may not be there in terms of the people, we're on the phone. We're sending marketing messages. We're doing trainings. We're doing client presentations. We can get a lot more done. So that's the base advantage, but understand you've got a lot more advantages in this model and in this environment than that. Remember, we've got the football contest that started. And remember, all we do with these contests is just try to bring a little fun, break the monotony and the grind of building this business out, and allow us to have a little bit of fun with it. So first place, guys, is $150. Second place is $50. Right now, Heather is absolutely crushing the field. Alana and I can come in first, but we can't win the tournament. So we definitely want to compete with you guys, but we can't win the tournament. And then just remember, every new direct qualified hire, touchdown, worth 6 points, standard track exchange is an extra point, fast track exchange is a 2-point conversion, and then any client sale is worth 3 points. And we're going to end this right around the time that we have the Leadership WealthWave Conference in Vegas. The WAM groups, spot on last week. I think as far as a collective group of the meetings, it was our best week ever. Now, we've had some weeks that an individual WAM group was awesome, but I don't think I've ever had a week where all the WAM groups were just, on point. So congratulations to all of you guys that are doing the 12-week year, that have committed to seeing it out and are participating in our WAM groups. We're coming up on week 11, and then week 12, we'll take a couple of weeks break, and we'll start a new year. But really quickly, I'm not going to go through and read all this because I did email it out to the WAM participants, and I posted in the Facebook group. But remember, your language, verbiage, and phrases, this is what you work on. You have to get better at opening, continuing, and direct the conversation. Creating interest in what you do is a skill that you can learn. Remember, don't talk about products and product features. Talk about the benefits of that end result. Mutually beneficial relationships. Sometimes, when you are evaluating somebody, if they don't understand what we're doing, they're unwilling to make changes, they don't believe in themselves, it's going to be extremely, if not impossible, to extract value out of that relationship. Don't violate your partner persona just to bring in a body count. The small agencies, we've had several conversations about this recently. You have to be confident in what you have to offer that small agency owner. Also, you're not going for, the grand slam here. Just go for the single. Bring the agency owner in, let him or her test the waters and see if it's something that they want to incorporate into their overall model. Once again, small agencies, along with everybody, they need a digital plan. Do they have one? What's the consequence of not having one? And are they running into growth obstacles that we can help them with? Headhunting. Successful people are stuck in unsuccessful models, unsuccessful environments, lacking the support they need. We can support them in a big way, give them an opportunity where they can be confident going out and doing what they need to, knowing that we on the back end have their back. Consistency, good days, bad days, really bad days. Don't worry about that. Just keep going. Don't start and stop. You'll lose all your momentum. And then commitment. For either a partner that's already in or somebody you're talking to, there's a big difference between interest and commitment. If you really want this, you got to go all in, and you've got to remove failure as an option for an outcome. Success is the only option. And when you get that into your mindset and kind of burn the boat, so they say, so you're there stuck, it gets you into a mindset where I'm going to make this happen no matter what. Remember, we always talk about this pyramid, and if you're going to get somebody to take action, you've got to offer a solution that makes sense to them. You offer the solution by being able to identify problems that are going on. You get that information from, or you get the problem from the information they're willing to divulge to you, but you're never going to get any of that information until you're able to establish rapport, trust, and credibility. And we've got an amazing opportunity right now to use this book to do that bottom of the pyramid. It's a well-receptive message. We've tested it. People understand it, and it's getting some good feedback. So what we're going to do as we go along with the weeks, they are not going to release an ebook for at least a year. They want to sell as many printed copies as possible. Our model, we desperately need the ebook. So I'm not going to go through and make an ebook and put it online because I don't want to make people upset. But we can, over the weeks, extract information out of this book, put it on our meetings, and then over time we'll have enough and we'll just make a complete video. So last week we talked about American adults on average lose over $1,200 a year last year because they did not properly understand basic household financial issues. Almost 20% lost $2,500. Lack of financial literacy cost Americans a total of almost $300 billion in 2018. So what we did last week is we showed, okay, let's take that 1230 and let's take that 2,500 number, and let's say that we were able to educate our end client into making some small, better decisions that freed up that $1,230 or $2,500 a year. And let's say over a 20-year period, we invested that at a 6% rate of return. Who wouldn't want an extra 50 or 100 grand when they're approaching or getting close to those retirement years? So understand what we can do. It may look, small up front in the beginning, but if you put that money to work for you instead of against you, it can make big differences in your standard of living, your ability to retire maybe a few years earlier. So today what I want to talk about, and I want to add something to last week, is a new part of the book. And there's going to be 4 threats every wealth builder must conquer: procrastination, inflation, losses, and taxes. Now that your client is aware of the threats, time to review strategies that will help conquer them. Remember, you're an educator. You're teaching people how to go forward, make better decisions, and have a better outcome at that end point. When you're looking at the retirement period, remember, you've got the guaranteed income, you've got long-term assets, you've got insurance, you've got investments. Now, if somebody has investments at the top of this pyramid in CDs, they don't need the money for a period of years, they're earning probably less than 1%. That's a big move that we can make on non-qualified money going over to an annuity. But understand how the pyramid's built, understand what people need, and the more you learn, the more you're going to earn. Remember, just because you're not a consultant, if you pick up consultant language, learn about some of these things, it's going to allow you to direct conversations a lot better and have people interested and raise their hand and say, yeah, I want to learn more about this. So when you look at that pyramid and you look at all the investments out there, and if you take a poll, what's the best return on investment? In my opinion, it's not going to be stocks, bonds, commodities, art, collectibles, not going to be any of that. The best return on investment that you can make is in yourself and in your business. It will by far pay the best dividends that you can possibly imagine going forward because you do have an unlimited exponential opportunity. Invest in yourself, invest in your business, invest in your partners that are worth it, and you'll get a nice ROI on that. Remember, how money works. We talked about this. That message is well received. We're just going to pound that home over the next 9 to 12 months because that message allows us to do a lot of things. The one thing that I wanted to explain today, it allows for an earlier pivot. Remember, the pivot in our system came from the Tier 1 ABC interview. If I'm interviewing John Smith and John Smith gets down, we get down to the question about 15 hours at least. John says, I can't do it. Too busy. I got my businesses, my family, all these things going on. Well, in the Tier 1 ABC interview, we could pivot that to a potential client conversation, but we had to get them there. We were missing out on a whole bunch of people on the front side. So the How Money Works message allows us to take this and fork it to a potential partner or a potential client much earlier in the conversation. So remember, now if I get to somebody earlier on and they're not interested for one or more variable reasons, really no one's going to be mad at you. I can't say no one. There's going to be people out there that find fault in everything, but most everybody is not going to have a negative reaction to the financial literacy campaign, the book release, the media tour. People understand financial literacy is a big problem. So that allows us earlier in the conversation, like I said, to thank them for taking a look at what we're doing and letting them know there's free services that we have during this time they can and should take advantage of, and then you can continue the conversation from that point. Now, what I found in the marketplace is when you use the words financial needs analysis, even though it's a free report, a lot of the other side takes that word needs and transfers it into a sale, meaning that we're going to try to sell them something. Of course we are. I mean, we're in the business of selling financial products if it's suitable. But if you learn how to break these things down and say, hey, would you be interested in talking to somebody about how to improve your cash flow, how to, handle your debt management, to make sure that you're set up for emergencies? If you like somebody to review to make sure in case something happens, whatever life throws at you, that you've got yourself covered so you don't fall into the pit that a lot of Americans do when these events happen. Would you like to sit down with somebody and see how close you are to retirement or how far away or what you need to do to get there? And finally, have you ever sat down with somebody and talked about your estate preservation to make sure that whatever you have goes to the right people with as much intact without getting devoured by taxes, attorneys, unintended heirs? All of that language I just came up with is in the F&A report. So when you're looking at these building blocks and looking for language about how to describe this to a potential client, just go through the F&A form or the report, pull out some language, write it down, keep it, and use it. Obviously, if somebody wants to learn about cash flow and we talk to them, we can probably get the rest of the F&A done when they do see the value. So understand you can break these down and offer one of the 6 to get somebody into a consultation. And also, guys, one more thing on that last slide. If somebody doesn't want to go through a full F&A, they just want to see, for example, how close or how far they are away from retirement, you can just fill out that section of the F&A and print that section and present it to them. So ultimately, what you, I, or we as a team are trying to find out from the other side is where are they now, where do they want to go, how are they going to get there, and how do we fit in possibly to that equation? Then we want them to realize one or more of the following, either partner or client, they can't do it alone, they can't do it fast enough, or they don't know how to do it. That's where we come in. Potential partners usually in an interview or usually before an interview when you're marketing, they want to know 3 things. Now, this comes in a wide variety of different language and verbiage, but essentially it's 3 things. Is this real? Can I do it? And what help am I going to get? Remember, a lot of agents that we talk to in the industry, they're getting no support. We offer, in my opinion, second to none support, because this is definitely something that we can assist them with. And then we want to know 3 things from our side as well. We want to know what they've been doing with their life professionally. Do they understand what we're doing, and do they share our vision? And then if so, what's going to motivate them to see this through? Remember, just having the vision is not enough. It's kind of like the new car. That smell is going to go away. The new car smell is going to go away. You've got to be able to go in, day out, understand what you're working for, and be motivated, even on the worst days we don't feel like it, to go out there and have the activity. You've got to have that full recipe for success, or else it's going to break down. And remember, when you're talking to people, it's about the pain points. Now, you've got the carrot and the stick, either something people want to do or something they want to avoid. Sometimes the pain points are a way better way to kind of wake people up and get them to realize, hey, whatever I'm doing is not working. But with that, you can't come off condescending a-hole. You've got to have some empathy there. You've got to see through their eyes, listen, and feel what they're going through. So yes, you want to be steadfast and confident in your approach, but you also want to have some empathy. And one of the things that we all have to realize is that financial literacy is a big problem in this country. Your information and your stories need to be laid out in a Sesame Street simple format. Remember, if you're talking above somebody and they don't understand, they're going to shut down. lay it out simply so they can understand, so they feel confident coming back and asking you questions or opening a conversation. All you're trying to do is attract people, the right people, whether it's a client or partner, business partners, clients. It all comes through that upfront tier one contact. The tier one contact represents basically your marketing strategy, what you do on a daily basis. And those contacts are like the bricks for building what you want. Without the contacts, there's no business partners, there's no clients, there's no growth. You have a powerful digital franchise opportunity that allows you to work from anywhere, live your dream lifestyle. It's a lot easier than people think. Remember, our three-pronged mission statement for our partners: time freedom, lifestyle freedom, financial freedom. We can package those first two up immediately. Financial freedom is something that somebody's got to work for. Never forget what you have to offer. Even though the other side, maybe on a day, a week, or a multi-week basis, is not understanding or not getting what you're trying to offer, there's a ton of people out there like us that are looking for this. You ultimately are looking for someone who's looking for something. Digital business is a big opportunity, but when you combine that with a financial literacy problem, that's an explosive business opportunity. We talked about this a few weeks ago, and we continue to bring this up. I just want you guys to understand, when you're building your audience, for example, on a platform like LinkedIn, or you're reaching out to people on Facebook, the common market approach is an incredible approach because it gives you that loose commonality that bridges the two of you guys together and makes people feel comfortable in connecting with you, communicating with you. So school, sports, occupation, military, church, civic group, etc. Find commonalities, look for people who have some type of bridge connected with you, and use that as a way to open the conversation. Script plus landing page. That's basically the bridge connection. You know, it's going to get you in the door, and then it's going to allow you for at least a little bit of an opportunity to get in front of that person. Now, what you do when you get in front of that person, whether it's Facebook message, LinkedIn message, whether it's a telephone call, you've got to show interest in them. That's how you build interest in yourself. And as you're out there, remember, there's a bunch of different things you can do: job postings, classified ads, resume bank, social media posting. Just understand they're all different. Job posting is going to be specific and direct in nature. It's job language. Classified ads can be more general information, opportunity language. The resume banks, if you're struggling on at first, which a lot of people do, creating those inbound leads, it's an opportunity for you to go out there and try to create interest by outbound to drive eyes to the videos for follow-up. And then finally, your social media. It's more about brand awareness. Remember, virtual, we got a great brand, but you're more important. That personal branding is what's going to make people attracted to you. And if you can offer something on the back end, client or partner, great. But if you lead with Virtual Financial, you're going to find that your personal brand really suffers. You are the most important part of your marketing. So the personal brand: who are you? What do you do? Why? Goals, dreams. Be authentic. Don't be fake. People will sniff that out in a minute. And another thing that we've talked about over the past couple of months is, a way to open conversations in a non-threatening way. Get the information that you're looking for from online surveys. Agents, financial professionals, what are they doing in the market? Are they using digital? What's going on in the industry? Candidate pre-screens for online ads, resumes, profiles looking, general public, retirement, financial literacy, smart money, entrepreneur, types, ways, challenges, and then warm market, general market for new position or prepping for the book and media tour. We're coming up pretty soon on the end of the year. Another survey would be, what are your plans for 2020? Anything that you can do to open conversation, do it. And remember, one of the things that we always want to remember, I hate this word. People always talk about, I'm thinking about joining your organization. No, you're not. You're going to be hired into our organization. And as soon as you adopt that mindset, this whole process becomes much easier for you and the other side. Remember, always, always, always evaluate your hires to find out what's working, what's not working, and why. If you know your numbers, if you keep data points, it's going to be very easy for you to build this business. And then when your partners come in and say, well, what do you do? Well, let me show you. And if you can get that core group of people that are all working, all analyzing data points, you're going to be off to the races. Knowledge is the new currency. And when you guys adopt this mindset, what you're going to find is that when you have things to offer people and they think that you can help them get to their own personal goals, you're going to attract that top talent. Have something to offer, learn as much as you can, and then teach other people. Like we talked about, people are going to be attracted to someone who can lead them to success. One of the things that I had to learn is quit working with just anyone. Own your niche, find your ideal client or partner, and make them a priority. Remember, if you can identify who you're looking for, it's easier to find those people, and it's easier to get a message out to them that resonates as that type of person. You know, who can you become great at working with? Who can you bring in as a partner that you can help work with that's going to end up being a great partner? Because that's a mutually beneficial relationship. Number 2, quit doing everything for people. Know the service you provide best, and then cut out the rest. Remember, you can't work with everybody. You can't know everything. You can't, market all of our products. You've got to get into a core kind of environment where you've got a little bit of a product and a little bit of a message to a partner that you think is your best possible partner, and go out there in the marketplace and identify those people. Refine your core service and make sure that you cut out all the other small offers, because when you quit spending 50% or more of your time on activities that don't make you any revenue, your life and your business will begin to transform massively. Do not let people waste your time. Use paid marketing to work for you and know your numbers. If you come in here and you're financially strapped, of course, we're going to help you build it organically. But as you start to make money in here, remember, you always want to invest, you always want to hire, you always want to grow. But more importantly, you have to understand what your money's doing. You have to get that ROI. If something's not working, don't continue with it just because you don't have any idea what's going on. That's where the data points come in. Understand the stages that helps you determine the right approach, and determine how that strategy ties into your other marketing efforts. One size does not fit all. You have to define your audience, but like I said, be selective. You can't talk to everybody with the same message. Find out who you're looking for and craft a message that's going to talk to them specifically. The ultimate goal here is to create inbound leads. It's not to always do the outbound. Outbound is a grind, and if you have to do that in the beginning, I understand. You have to do whatever you need to do to get this built. But ultimately, you want to create inbound marketing, and you do that by, creating an emotional connection. It really helps. That's the attraction stage. That's content that educates, informs, or entertains. That's facts, tips, how-to videos, and then you can mix in business-related things with that. You have to attract people first before you can engage with them and influence them. Second part is the engagement, content that helps them solve their problem. Videos, articles, memes, interview, classes, webinars, access to products, calls to action. That's the engagement stage. And then finally is delight, content that helps connect or entertain, building loyalty and driving retention. So attract, engage, delight. If you're always online, pushing product, pushing business, it's going to make your audience steer away from you after a while, and it's going to water down your message to the point it's not well received. You're trying to attract the right people. I'm not going to go through all of this, but basically what this survey says is that people in this industry are failing. 53% when they went out there and requested information, they failed to contact them at all. In the words of a licensed agent who reached out to them, of course, there's a 0% chance of converting a prospect if your overall and your overrides if you fail to respond to that inquiry. Almost half responded to our request at least once. Shocking. And then there's more. Only 26% actually reached out with a telephone and called us back. Another 21% simply responded using an email, which are a lot of times just automated form emails. And then 16% followed up with us the same day, requesting information. Remember, a lead is a lead, and it's hot in the beginning. If you contact them immediately, they're going to remember seeing your page, seeing you. They're going to remember information. If you don't get to them 2 or 3 days later, they're going to have no idea who you are, virtual is, anything about what they saw. So you can separate yourself from the crowd in this industry just by, being organized, following up, making the contacts. And you can see right here the recruitment potential as the contacts go forward increases exponentially. You need to have positive interactions. Just because somebody is not there at the direct moment that you follow up, and maybe not the next day either, doesn't mean they're not interested in what you have to offer. It just means that we're all busy. If you can understand that and understand how this curve can be incorporated in your business approach, the more you follow up, the more you separate, and the more your business grows. If you're not following up, you're leaving business growth and money on the table. We've got some amazing tools. You've still got people out there in the traditional industry that are essentially, if we were gold miners, with a pickaxe and a sluice and a pan here. Now we've got digital tools, we've got digital assets, we've got a digital approach. Don't come into a digital model and fall back on traditional habits. Also, your digital marketing, eventually you're going to have so much stuff going that you will have a trickle of leads coming in from so many different sources. You will be busy. It's not going to happen overnight. So understand, I have a list of things that I want to try to do every week. I have my calendar, I have my task, and I have my list of things. Maybe it's updating a Facebook page. Maybe it's adding something to the website. Whatever it might be, try to get those things knocked out little bit by little bit, because as you do that week in and week out, it's like an axe. You're chopping that tree. Eventually that tree falls. And in our case, when that tree falls, you've got all of these assets out there that are working for you, and in a big way that, of course, not only does it individually, but ties all this stuff back together. You're weaving a web online where people can get lost in learning about you, your brand, and this company as well. You're always one hire away from explosive growth. Remember that. A lot of people come in, they don't do anything. You can't want this more for them than they want for themselves. People are lazy. People are entitled. People have personality defects. People self-sabotage. You can't let that bring you down. If people filter out, that's what our system's created for, so that you don't waste time with people that you shouldn't. So if somebody filters out, consider that just part of the system and consider that a positive for you. I know it's hard to kind of grasp that, but the filters are there for a purpose to save you time, energy, and resources. And remember, it's survival of the fittest. You've got a survival period. That's the initial growth period. Most people don't make it past that point. If you hang in long enough, you're going to have a turning point, and you're going to have a period of growth, and naturally you're going to have some type of a setback. And if you make it through that setback without getting all down and depressed about it, you're going to have an extreme growth period. Then you're going to go to organizational development. Then you're never going to look back, and you're going to be one of those people who exits making speeches every once in a while, but ultimately you've got your cash flow asset built that's got passive income. You're traveling, you're working with charities, you're going into more spiritual part of your life, whatever it might be, whatever you're looking to do with your life, this can be an answer and a vehicle to get you there. Because remember, you cannot have all the stuff we just talked about if you're worried about how to pay your mortgage, if you're worried about how to pay the bills, if you're worried about how to send your kids to college. This is an opportunity to break out of that cycle. Always think expansion. We just talked about it. If you have people fall off, if you have clients that don't make the second appointment, if you have clients that get declined, whatever it might be, don't worry about it. Start thinking about expansion. Start thinking about growth. If you have that contractual or fixed mindset, it's going to weigh on you mentally, and it's going to affect your ability to build this business. Base shop. We always want to talk about getting you guys to senior vice president. That's the first stage of, or the first step in this growth process. Now, there's incremental steps that lead up to that, but ultimately, as a senior vice president, as Alana said, you start opening to your bonuses, you're running a base shop, but that's still self-employed. They're going to need your help. They've got questions for you. When you start having people trained, supported to the point they can go out and do this on their own as an independent digital agency owner, that creates distribution. No matter where you are in the cycle, always be eyeing distribution. That's your exit point. The skill set of having discomfort in your life is actually a huge advantage, and that's one of the hardest things for people to understand. You cannot skip the steps to success. Just like in that Gordon Gekko meme that Alana put up, nothing happened for 3 years. In the 4th year, you just break out, and you have unbelievable success. It's a process. Trust the process. Hold the vision. Trust the process. This is for you guys, but it also is for your potential partners. Do you have the desire to dominate the market? What's going to get the best results? Do that. A lot of times it's the most uncomfortable stuff that we don't want to do, going to get the best results. Activity plus accountability plus one more thing that we talk about, education, is the recipe for success. Never, ever give up, give in, refuse. Always make steps forward, even if you have to take a couple steps back. Always be moving forward. Don't leave your future up to chance. And this goes for a lot of parts of our business. This goes for a lot of parts of our personal life. You've got to take hold, and you've got to be aggressive. If you want something, go out and get it. Think about things differently. And I want you guys to understand the next couple of slides is just some advice for you guys. Number one, as you're building an organization, if your partner throws you a tier 1 ABC interview call with basically no notes and no information, you are flying blind. It's a lot harder to control and direct that conversation without any information. So understand that anything that's a PDF, that's not a PDF, you can always print it to a PDF, can be attached at the bottom of the CRM file. There's file 1, file 2, file 3. That could be resumes, LinkedIn profiles, F&A, quotes, illustrations. The better that you can get at preparing your team, the better that your organizational growth is going to be. If you don't set the standards early on, you're going to find that your organization is going to follow that lack of leadership, and it's just going to be a mess going forward. Also, LinkedIn recommendations. I haven't really been good on this. I know I bring it up all the time, but especially, for our team, as we have so many people coming in with a hiring model, it's very easy for us to go through just in our little core group and give recommendations to each other. That will help beef up your profile. When somebody's at your profile and they see that you've got a ton of recommendations there, it builds rapport, trust, credibility in the marketplace. LinkedIn Helper is a personal choice. LinkedIn says, no, don't use it. Some of us use it, some of us don't. I will tell you that it's not a magic wand. You have to understand what it does, and you have to direct it to do what you want it to do. If you're organized and if you are consistent with this, it's a great way to automate a lot of the communication through LinkedIn to get to the point where it's time to have direct communication with a person that's come through this cycle. You're creating leads. And it's a lot, for me, it's hard for me to manage my LinkedIn profile manually. So LinkedIn Helper, or Linked Helper, excuse me, is a great tool for me. But once again, it's a personal choice. LinkedIn says don't use it. You either choose to use it or you don't. But if you choose to use it, realize it's not a magic wand. You just don't upload it and it starts doing everything. You've got to create files. You've got to collect. You've got to send the messages, and you've got to be consistent with it. Contact your team. The easiest way for your organization to blow up is for non-communication. So as people come in, if they're testing, push them to get that test. You don't want the partner to fall out because they just drifted from the testing. So push them positively to get that test completed. When they come in and they pass the test or they're already licensed, if after let's say the tier 6 CRM launch, you haven't talked to them for a week, that's a big problem, you guys. We're not in the office. We're not seeing people on a physical basis day to day. You've got to create that connection for your team. You got to let them know, A, you're there to help them, but B, that you're expecting to see things. Coming out of that tier 6 CRM launch, the next day as a manager, you should see notes coming through. If you don't, call that person up. Listen, guys, if they're going to quit, they're going to quit. Pushing them to do the activity is not going to make them quit. They're going to quit because they give up or because they have a self-sabotage mentality, personality defects. But if the reason they quit is because they drifted away because you didn't communicate with them, that's 100% on you. Easiest way to keep track is the team tracker. Now, we do have the sprint track, but that's not going to be an entire team blueprint. This is going to allow you to know exactly where people are. And also remember, guys, in the CRM, when you mark somebody after they're hired as a rep, or you mark somebody after you have completed client sales with them as a rep or as a client, there are tabs in the CRM that says rep and client. It's a good way to organize those people away from just your general lead inquiries. Also, it says no for an answer, but don't take some of these answers. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably aren't going to understand this, especially if you're new, but as you get ready to take over an office, you have a responsibility to make sure that business is flowing through that. That means that staying on top of some of these underwriters, if, for example, Apps or Portometric makes a mistake and you call them up and you get a W-2 employee on the line, they give you some, BS answer, and you just accept that, that's a problem. You're going to have a lot of fallout from that. Remember, no one's going to, be more interested in your business than you. Sometimes you have to direct these people. Sometimes you say, absolutely, that's not acceptable. I hear Alana on the phone all the time, and you guys are extremely lucky to have Alana in this organization. She's a pit bull with these underwriters, all of these people that are surrounding us that need to do the work so our business can flow. Her favorite words are, let me talk to your supervisor. Don't take people's answers, especially if you know they're incorrect, and hang up the phone, because what's going to happen is that application is going to be closed. If there was money taken on the front of that, it's going to be a chargeback. You're going to be upset. Your partner's going to be upset. You have to get things done. SVP is more than points and premium. It's a leadership position. People are counting on you. I think more than any time in the history of this company, right now are the moments that matter. The next 12 months, 24, and 36 months, you have an unbelievable opportunity to build a mega office that spins out a lot of independent agencies, that creates the lifestyle and creates the freedom that you're looking for. It's not going to happen overnight, but I will tell you, if you stay consistent, you continue to have the activity, you continue to be accountable to yourself and other people around you, and you continue to self-develop with education, implementation, and reflection, you guys are going to be off to the races. I'm really excited about the upcoming next 36 months, like I said. I'm excited to work with each of you guys to help you reach your goals. But like I said, we can't want this more than you want it for yourself. If you're putting in the work, we're going to put in the work from our side. And then as you take over an office, you should develop that same type of strategy. Work with the people who are actually working. If you guys need any help, let us know. Hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to pass it back to Alana. She'll open up the floor if you guys have any questions, comments, or clarifications or concerns.